All right, Shalom. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 9 and verse 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Kohalor Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who teach and rule well, peace and infinite salutation to the elect that are scattered abroad doing the work in truth and sincerity. All right, and we're seeing major escalation in this war, which is fulfilling prophecy. Per usual, we're going to go into prophecy. And, we're living in some very exciting times, man. Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai is making things happen on a very high level. Brothers need to just hold on. Like that. Brothers quoted all the time, that old Drake song, man. Just hold on, we going home, baby. That's the times we in. Just hold on. Hold on to your faith. That no man take your crown. Stay locked in the spirit, because things is happening quick. All right, so this is somewhat breaking news 4 hours ago. I mean, now 4 hours. So much things is happening 4 hours ago is old news. With all the things going on. So we're just going to go through some of these World War III scriptures, continue to watch, continue to pray. Ultimately, this is leading up to the return of the Messiah, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, which we know his name is truly Yahweh Shai, all right, who's a so-called black man, all right, from the tribe of Judah, coming back to redeem the elect, all right, and to destroy the wicked. But major escalation in this war. Iran, this is from Dabu 7's channel. Iran war takes terrifying turn as missiles bombard nuclear plant and divert flights. So, and I also got this pulled up on the chat, how bombing nuclear facilities is considered major escalation. We're going to read a little bit of that as well. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and play this. Let's get in the spirit.
This is Dabu 7. As I warned about in the last video, it's going down on the war front here with Iran. Trump pounding all types of sites, and some of the newest reports here saying that this thing is escalating. Tehran retaliating. They have struck whatever is left in Bahrain and Kuwait, because remember, they flattened the areas before. They're also hitting any other little thing they can that's in the area that may be open for them. The U.S. saying that they hit a plethora of different spots, and Iran officials coming out claiming that the strikes, all the shrapnel and everything from it, has come down at the nuclear power plant in the vicinity. So, damage done, the extent of it doesn't say. They don't say that any radiation or anything like that is loose. I don't see anything like that. Looks like these may be perimeter shots, but I mean, it's getting close. Like, they know where they're placing most of these missiles. They know where the nuclear plant is. They should stay far and away from it, but who knows what they've got parked up close to the nuclear stuff here. Trump has shown nothing but disgust with the Iranian people.
Yep, and this guy's a loose cannon. This guy, Trump, they getting ready, and information already came out that civilians have been dying in Iran behind these strikes and stuff. And they're not putting it on mainstream news like that, but get ready for, Trump to start striking infrastructure, key infrastructures, energy, nuclear plants, stuff like that, which is a major escalation in this war. And like we've been going into, man, ultimately, this is going to lead to total chaos in America. While people thinking, we're good here in America, bombs are dropping in the Middle East, we don't have to worry. All of this stuff that's happening is going to tighten up and destroy the American economy. This is all leading to an economic collapse, however they do it, the ushering in of the microchip. No food, prices are going to skyrocket beyond belief, and brothers already, brothers ain't rich, and brothers living the best we can, but it's going to get tight, and we got to be prepared for that. The scriptures say and those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. And we're coming into the time we're going to have to fully unplug, because if you even want to be in this society in the times we're coming into, they're going to, you're going to have to take a microchip, which we know is the mark of the beast, which all of this is by design. This is all by design. First and foremost, by the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. The scriptures say the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. The Lord is the one who is controlling the kings of the earth, man. The Lord is the one who's putting it in the mind of Nero and the Ayatollah and the Kim Jong-uns to do all this stuff globally to usher in what? Prophecy, But once again, this is going to hit home soon. All of this stuff that's happening is going to hit home, and it's going to, when it hits home, it's going to hit hard. All right. And this is why we've been being built up in the spirit, brothers in the faith. Understand that life as you know, it's going to change drastically. But see, we've been preparing. Brothers of the faith, you've been locking in the spirit. Everything we've been doing is for this very moment in time, when this shit really hits the fan. All right. We're going to be saved by our faith and by our works. But this shit is heating up. Let me finish this video out.
Calling them scum, saying that they're insane, that they have a meeting with them and they walk out and they tell the media that nothing went good. And he really seemed to be agitated by that. The fact that he thinks there's progress being made in talks, and then they walk out again and tell the media another story. And
yep, well, that's scriptures, Let me actually grab it, what is it? They shall seek peace and there shall be none. All right. Ezekiel 7:25. Destruction cometh. That's what's coming. All right. And this is right out of the Holy Bible. People talk about, oh, you guys are so hateful and, you guys always spewing hate. We're just reading the prophecies in the Bible. This is what the Lord said is coming. And ultimately what's happening is to destroy the wickedness that's happening in this earth and to establish a righteous kingdom. That's what's coming behind all of this. But see, we got to go through the storm. Like they tell you in the world, before the rainbow is a storm. We got to go through the storm, man. And that's what we're in right now. The storm of prophecy, man. Prophecy taking place on a very high level. Before we get the righteous kingdom and things is, brothers is good and rich and got everything our hearts desires. We got to go through the time of Jacob's trouble. And that's what this time is leading up to. So it's not that we always talking about hate, and this is just prophecy. Okay. This is the time and season that we're in. We're in the time and season of prophecy. We're in the time and season of Esau being cast down, which means that this society is being cast down. Okay. The American economy is done. It's through. People struggling to pay rent. They budgeting whether they should put gas in their car, if they should get food at the grocery store. They can't. So we're at the end of this thing. All right. Destruction cometh. That's what the Lord is saying. And if you got a problem with it, to hell with you. You're going to dwell in the destruction. All right. Hey, the scriptures say through the terror of the Lord, we persuade men. When we go into the lessons like this about World War III, it's supposed to strike fear in you, man. And if you don't have the fear of the Lord, then you none of the Lord. You don't belong to the Lord, man. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, man. So if you don't fear the prophet's message, which is really God's message, then ultimately it ain't for you. You're gonna dwell in torments, as the scriptures say. But Ezekiel 7:25, destruction cometh and they shall seek peace and there shall be none. That's why they having all these peace talks and they all falling through. Okay. The MOU fell through. Peace talks here. Oh, peace and safety. Nah, there ain't going to be no peace and safety, man. Why? Because the scriptures say otherwise, man. Destruction is what's coming, man. Not no peace and safety. And if you understood that, and I know brothers and sisters of the faith, primarily the brothers, understand that, and we move with discretion. We fear Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and we want to do everything we can possible to please the Lord so we don't get caught up in this. Because the Lord ultimately is the one who's bringing all this destruction. So if you live your life correctly, really, if you're of the elect and you live in, then guess what? You don't got nothing to worry about. You know, you live in a humble life. You live in a life of repentance. You know, we ain't got nothing to worry about. But what? It stems from the fear of the Lord, man. Once again, we do these lessons. You better fear, man. You better tremble, because this is gonna turn nuclear very quick. We went into the lesson yesterday, like as a woman in the 9th month, you know, like a woman giving birth. That's how the plagues are not gonna slow down. They're only gonna get faster and faster until Yahushua comes back. So this thing is up. All right, it is up and it's stuck. All right.
Progress being made in talks, and then they walk out again and tell the media another story.
No peace.
And at this point, the bombs are flying. And when you've got places like nuclear plants catching, you know, shrapnel, debris, or hits, whatever it may be here, it's getting pretty close to a super chaotic situation.
Yep.
So they go on and on here about all the different sites that they've struck 170 targets.
Sheesh, that's major escalation. All right? That's major escalation. And really, and that's why this guy, Nero, he's stuck over there, man. He's stuck in the Middle East. And like the scriptures say, the least of the flock shall draw them out. So something big's about to happen, man. Something major is about to go down. What we're seeing on the news now, it's big stuff. Don't get me wrong. It's big things that are happening. But what's getting ready to happen that's going to draw the rest of the world into this is going to blow everybody's mind. Everybody's going to be like, oh, shit. Don't be surprised if they drop a pocket nuke or some major big bomb or something, some T attack, a black. Something major is going down, man. All right? Something major is about to go down. It's like you. All right? But let me play this.
Okay? So this is back and forth. This isn't clearing up anytime soon. Iran's not submitting. They've got drones for days, man. You got China and Russia supplying on the back end of this. I told you, man, I warned everybody weeks ago when Trump said we're 4 weeks away from disaster. 3 weeks have slipped by.
Sheesh.
So I would have a plan.
A week away. If he said we are 4 weeks from disaster because of the oil reserves. If he said we were 4 weeks from disaster because of then guess what? We won pretty much 1 week away. So shit is about to go down, bro. And I'm speaking to myself first and foremost, like, prepare yourself, man. And the only way you can prepare is in the spirit. But this shit is about to get ugly, quick. Everybody's life is about to change. You know, who was that? Who was the artist that sang that song? Future? Bitch, don't get too comfortable. Yeah, now's not the time to be getting comfortable, man. Bitch, don't get too comfortable. Hey, because everybody's about to be put in an uncomfortable situation. You know, you might lose your house. You might lose your car. You might lose your life in the times we're coming into. But where's your spirit at? Where's your mind at? That's what this is all leading up to, man. The major test, the hour of temptation is around the corner, man.
And I get ready. And if you missed it, what most people are missing is that Trump has ordered, just like egg prices, to be put at a certain level and to fix things there. He ordered meat to be brought down, trying to brag about a deal, just like he did gas, trying to tell the gas stations to go to $2.50. He's trying to hold prices in an area where they're not naturally at.
And that analyst came out and said pretty much, you know, they pretty much said even if the war was to stop, that gas prices wouldn't go back down they wouldn't go back down. Even if the war stopped, they wouldn't go back down for another 3 years. It would take 3 years, you know, for gas. This place is done, man. America is through. Babylon the Great is done. All right?
Because the global diesel prices, despite ours, aren't following it. Something's not right. And when it all snaps back to reality, it's not going to be a good thing. But this is the latest. Join me for the live streams going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Talking about updates to this and a whole lot more. Much love.
All right, now let me get this real quick. All right.
Tensions boiling over as the U.S. and Iran exchanged strikes overnight after President Trump said the ceasefire with Tehran is, quote, over. Joining me now is Arkansas Congressman Rick.
No ceasefire, man. All right, so let's get this in the chat real quick. I'm not going to make this lesson too long, man, you know. I said, how is America bombing Iran's nuclear plants and major escalation in war, and how can it get worse? Bombing a country's nuclear facilities is generally considered a major escalation because it strikes at assets that are among its most strategically important. Even if the stated objective is to damage a nuclear weapons program rather than to target civilians, such attacks are often viewed by the targeted state as attacks on its long-term security and national sovereignty. Yeah, so you think Iran's gonna go for this? You know, shit is just, it's up from here, bro. It's just going to get worse. Something big's going to happen. Israel, the small hat's going to do some major thing that's going to lead America getting into war even more so than it already is. Because really, who's doing all the bombing? It's America. And then you got this information that America and Israel are trying to join forces, you know, military forces together, you know. So we see what's going on concerning prophecy. Russia's going to get involved. Ezekiel 38. It says that can increase pressure to respond forcefully and make diplomacy more difficult. I don't know why my camera keep doing that. It says it targets, here are several reasons why it can be seen as major escalation. It targets strategic capability. The risk of wider conflict rises. That's what's coming. More conflict in the Middle East. It can weaken diplomatic options. Yeah, no more options. No more coming to the table. Regional actors may become more involved. Allies or proxy groups could increase their participation, right? Like the Houthis closing off that other strait by the Red Sea. Russia get involved. You know, China. We'll see how it all plays out. All right. If a conflict like this were to worsen, possibilities could discussed by military and foreign policy analysts include more strikes on military infrastructure by both sides, retaliation against U.S. or allied military bases in the Middle East, disruption of shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. Yep, they're going to shut that back. The Strait of Hormuz is done. It's done. You know, I was watching the elder brother Ash video. He was saying how Trump, you know, this guy Trump, he keeps saying that the Iranians are nasty and evil. And the elder priest made a beautiful example. He said, "Hey, what about the Epstein files, man? See, these people are fucking hypocrites, bro. The Iranians are evil and wicked, but what about the Epstein files, right? Cyber attacks, a prolonged regional war. Yeah. If you're asking about current U.S. situation in July 26, I can walk you through. Yeah, blah 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 blah. All right, so yeah, man, we this is it, bro. This place is finished. It's done. It's through." Lord's closing the curtains, man, on Babylon the Great. Vice Admiral. Oh, here we go. Let's see what this says. Boots on the ground.
Vice Admiral, Navy SEAL Robert Harwood grew up in Iran, led invasions in Afghanistan and Iraq. Member of the Jinsa Iran Policy Project, joins us now. So when you listen to the president, you think he's evolved to where you're at, and that is you can't trust these people. They don't have legitimate aims, and they got to be stopped.
Without a doubt, Brian. And my phone was blown up yesterday from all my Iranian contacts. They're all cheering. They know the opportunity the president has. His use of force here has really reinstated that. It's also illustrated how weak the Iranians is in that they have not responded. And everyone knew at the end of the day from the historical content that Iran has never capitulated on anything. They've only worked to enhance their position, their financial status, and the president understands this. Right. I think he's come to that realization. And this first step of reconstituting the blockade is a critical component of that. He can now leverage all the elements of power, not only military, but more importantly, financial, and I think illustrated from his time in Ankara, to build political support internationally and domestically to finish the job and go after the government of Iran.
So if you could pretend I'm a student at your war college class, Let's take a look at this region. We hit 150 different targets over the last 48 hours.
Sheesh.
Where would you be looking at that would really get the attention of the Iranians? And that's usually in their wallets.
Well, again, I'd start outside the Gulf itself, where you're showing Chabahar, a city called Josk. That's risk-free almost. It's the hardest point in Iran for them to supply. There's a major port there.
Yep. And the elder priest just dropped in the chat, man, fill your gas tanks up, because this shit about to get ugly in the next 2-3 weeks, month. Bro, this shit gonna get bad. All right, this shit gonna get bad, bro. But hey, my servant shall eat, but you shall be hungry. Now it's time for the prophets, the men of the Lord. Now it's time for us to stand up on our feet, man. You know, everything that we've been praying for, look, we asked for this, man. It's what we've been praying for. Now everything's happening. So when it comes, everything is going to be made known. Who belongs to the Lord and who don't. It's about to get ugly, bro. All right? It's about to get ugly, man. But I'm going to let this play out, because it says boots on the ground in Iran. Vice Admiral calls for boots on the ground in Iran. So let's see what this bozo demon got to say. All right? The epitome of a damn Edomite.
Start there. Take it out. Put boots on the ground if you'd have to. If you put any...
Yep, there you go. Put boots on the ground. That's what's coming. All right? You cannot win a war from the air. You cannot win a war from just dropping bombs. You gotta put boots on the ground, and that's what's coming. That's why they've been getting ready to draft people in December. Come December, they got the automatic draft. Bro, this shit is about to get, and everything the prophets have been saying is going to come to pass. The water Yahweh Bashim Yahushai for giving us the mysteries, giving us the secrets. We know how this thing is all going to go down, man. The Lord has opened us up to prophecy. We know what's going down, bro. All right? And if you can't get on this train, you're going to get left. And you're going to get left behind in fires and missiles and nuclear bombs and guillotines and FEMA troops, FEMA camps. That's where you're going to get left behind if you don't want to get on the train of prophecy, man. All right? If you don't want to hop on board, bro, you through. You done. You don't know what's going on by now. You're done. You're done. You're blind. You have no idea. You was just celebrating the 4th of July. You was celebrating your own destruction.
Take it out. Put boots on the ground if you'd have to. If you put any boots on the ground, well, I know there's risk involved with that. The message to the pop.
He said, I know there's risk. Risk is an understatement. The Iranians have been preparing for boots on the ground for decades. All right? These Iranians have studied the art of war, bro. And you stepping onto their territory is going to be a bloodbath. A bloodbath. A post came out the other day that said if there was boots on the ground come to Karg Island, the Iranians state, the news said that not one soldier would come back alive. And I believe it. I believe it. It's going to be a bloodbath, and that's why the scriptures go into in 2 Ezra 16. The draft of virgins mourning, having no husbands. All right? And the wars, bridegrooms are going to be destroyed, right? This is what we're coming into. All right? And guess what? All these YNs and even women going to be, hey, guess what? Go fight. Go fight, man. Go fight in the Middle East. And you ain't coming back. If you get sent over there to fight, you ain't coming back. You'll be lucky if you come back in a box. You'll be lucky.
Population of Iran that America is serious. They're going to finish this thing is the indicator. So I work my way up into the Gulf towards Keshem, towards Bandar Abbas, those areas, and all along the Gulf. Control that, and you can control Iran.
All right, so let's go get a look at it.
You can't control shit. And we know this. We let these guys talk and let them talk they shit. And yeah, big and bad Esau, right? I'm big and I'm bad. But it's the scriptures say, how is the hammer of the whole earth broken down? This man is being broken down. You being exposed. You're exposed for being pedos. You're exposed for drinking blood. You're exposed for eating shit. Now the hammer is being broken down. All right? Strategically. But soon the Lord is going to break this bitch down completely. All the way broken down. But once again, all this stuff that's happening in the Middle East, as soon is going to lead to boots on the ground, major escalation in war, and it's going to lead to the city of confusion, America, being completely broken down. No more mirth in the land, as the scriptures say in Ecclesiastes, bro. Gas prices about to be out of this roof. Get rid of that 401k, done. No more. All this shit is over, bro. People about to lose their jobs. The AI bubble is about to pop. You know, AI is taking people's jobs every day. Every day, people are losing their jobs. People are behind on rent in America. In America, quote unquote, the best, greatest place to be, right? The American dream. We found out that the American dream is the American scheme. All right. It's a damn scheme, and everybody waking up to this shit. But once again, all this that's happening is what? Prophecy. And who's going to be safe? Who's going to be protected? The men of the Lord. The ones that actually sacrifice their life to serve Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man. All right. So, hey, brothers, we got great things to look forward to. Hey, stay locked in. Stay prayed up. Shit's about to amp up. Next 2-3 weeks, something major could happen. All right. But be prepared. Prepare for thyself. You know, stay locked in, man. So, hey, call Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Till next time, shalom.